Awesome. It is recording. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's learning session on digital transformation. For those of you that I have not met yet in person, good morning. I'm Greg. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at DataGran. And I wanted to talk about digital transformation in two very big extremes, because the term digital transformation means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, from the biggest ideas you can imagine all the way to small ideas about changing the way we work. And so I'm going to start at the top with this idea of global revolution. A revolution is a change that happens really fast and on a worldwide scale that completely changes society. Now that might make your head explode, but most people now believe that what's happening with digital transformation is the beginning of the next industrial revolution. In the last 250 years, there have been 3 industrial revolutions. And of course, the trick is that you don't know it was a revolution until after it finished and you can look back and understand what happened. The first industrial revolution, the core technology that enabled it was mechanical equipment that used water and steam to make machines. And that was called the first industrial revolution in 1784. The second one, again, it was enabled by a new technology called electricity. And with electricity came mass production and factories and people who did one very specific job all day long. That completely changed the world. And then the third industrial revolution came because of the silicon chip was the core technology that enabled the third industrial revolution, which brought us electronics, computers, IT, all of the systems that we use today. And now we are at the beginning of the fourth industrial revolution. And we don't know when it started or if it has started yet. And we don't know what it will be called in the history books for our children and our grandchildren. But we think that the technology at the core of it is technology that brings together computers and physical systems or people. It has been said that this new revolution is best described as entirely new capabilities that bring together people and machines. And this is amazing because it's perfectly aligned with our vision at DataGran for augmenting human intelligence to impact society. We are bringing together machines, machine learning, computer AI with human intelligence to create new things that have never been done before. This revolution is already changing the entire world as we know it. Everything from business to jobs to countries to society to governments to issues around ethics. And the building blocks today so far of this disruption are already changing businesses a lot. We have cloud computing, and many companies are working on quantum computing, which is going to be a radical step forward. Mobile devices with new networks like 5G, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, the Internet of Things, and of course, us. It is actually the people using all of these new technologies that make these changes happen. Now, if everything I've just described sounds like it's a little bit crazy and too big to be true, it's always interesting to study the lessons from past history. And this guy wrote this amazing book called The Big Switch. And he went back and studied what happened in the Industrial Revolution when the new technology was electricity, and compared it to what is happening today. And I did not even know this, but it's amazing that only 100 years ago, every company owned its own electric generator in their building. There was no electricity coming from the electricity company. Many companies would build their building next to a river or a dam so they could get their electricity cheaper. And they had an entire team building this electric generator and creating electricity for the company. It was one of the top line divisions in the company, reporting to having its own P&L to make electricity. And of course, today, you just plug into the wall, and electricity is measured in tiny amounts. And the same amazing transformation is happening with computer systems. Encourage you to read that book if you haven't and you're interested. It's a really fun book and really eye-opening to think about how much society can change and be impacted by technology. So my definition of digital transformation is a global, a worldwide change in our society and in our business and in life as we know it. It really changes the way everybody lives and everybody works. So let's jump down to a little more smaller discussion about changing the way that we work. Digital transformation, I believe it will change the world in a way that is going to make our heads explode in our lifetime. And it is already changing our company, DataGran, and it's changing our customers. This change is being driven by technology, and it is just starting. People have been talking about it for a long time, but it is really just getting started. One good evidence of that is the announcement that SoftBank made a couple weeks ago. They launched a $108 billion investment fund for AI. And the CEO of SoftBank said they're doing this because now is the entry point, the beginning of the revolution and the beginning of the opportunity. So what is all this opportunity about? What does all this revolution mean at work? Some people say that we're already doing it because over 40% of all company IT spending is called digital transformation. Next year, it will be over $2 trillion. Companies are spending this money on AI, automation, cybersecurity, and as a result, they're making more money and they're having better operating margins. But when you think about the real opportunity of digital transformation, for me, that's kind of boring. We're just talking about little improvements to make more money and make more profit. What's really interesting at work is integrating all of our new digital technologies into all areas of our business. And that, fundamentally changes how we work and how we deliver our value, our products, our services to our customers. And that's what really is going to change the world. How do we do that? I found a great article about this that said the success of your digital transformation comes from ingenuity, comes from smart people working on hard problems and using these technologies in innovative ways. So in ways they've never been done before. Another writer said that it happens when we identify problems that haven't been solved in any other way. The only solution is one that doesn't exist yet. So we're actually using these technologies to solve new problems that have never been solved before. Which means there's no recipe. You can read books about digital transformation and get excited and feel inspired, but there's no checklist. There's no plan. We don't have a template for an Asana task called how to do digital transformation for our client. So I found another great article on Harvard Business Review that summarizes what I think is a good way to look at the keys to a successful digital transformation. The first one is that it has to be about the business strategy. The business strategy has to be supported by what you're trying to change. And that means that everyone on the team has to really understand what the top level strategy is for the business. The second is that we have to do it together as a team. When we're working with our clients, we have to become a team with them, and we have to do it ourselves. It does not work to bring in a consultant or to hire Ernst & Young or McKinsey & Company to come in and tell you how to digitally transform. Because you are solving hard problems that have not been solved before and doing it with new technology, we have to do it ourselves. The third key is that we have to be obsessed with our customers. The only way to understand what our customers need well enough is to be living inside of their life and their world and what they are trying to do with their company. The fourth key is a statement to each of us as a person, and that is that we have to climb our own ladder, which means for each of us in our own job, there is an opportunity to transform the way we work, to become more digital, to become more online, to become more collaborative, to use automation for our own work, to use Google Drive better, to use Asana better, to use Slack better. And each one of us has to climb that ladder to become more digital and more productive to help this happen as a whole. And the fifth key is that any company, it's a little easier, I think, for DataGrand because we are a startup, but any company has to build a startup culture to be able to move fast and have teamwork. So that means that for us at DataGrand, digital transformation is going to be what we choose to make it as a team. And it means for our clients that digital transformation will be what they decide to make it. And it will also be based on how much we can augment their intelligence with our platform. Again, my words. So I wanted to walk through some quick examples from global companies and what they are doing this year to transform their business. And these fall into 3 areas. A lot of companies are working to transform their customer experience. New things, new ways for their customers to work or to get things done. Other companies are using new technology to transform the way they work in their business, their operations. And other companies are using digital technology to transform their culture. So Safeway, Subway is an example. We all know them well. They published an article about how they are leading edge in the digital transformation. For them, today, that means self-service kiosks. You can come into Subway and you can order without talking to a person. It also means a mobile app, so you can order from your phone. Now, they have 150 engineers building their mobile app. That's amazing. They are definitely spending a lot of money on these digital transformations for their clients. Another one is Target. Target is interesting because 6 years ago, they had one of the most famous data breaches in history, and they lost millions of credit card numbers worldwide. And they had outsourced all of their software development. So they brought in their own software development team, and they have developed a lot of new technologies for security. And they are also using machine learning to better manage their inventory. It's a first step for a company like Target. You can see they are just getting started. Another example is the bank Capital One. They are doubling down on mobile technology and voice activation. They chose the Alexa platform. Walmart is another example. They have focused their digital transformation on their own operation. They adopted the OpenStack cloud platform. They built a completely new search engine for their site and for their internal operation. And they built an experimentation platform so they can rapidly try new technologies at Walmart. Walgreens, another global brand, they built a brand new mobile app, and they've invested a lot in using the Apple Watch to manage health and manage medication schedules. They have gone all in on the Apple platform. Competitor CVS is also using the Apple platform. I'm going to stop for 1 second and just ask if someone can confirm they hear me and see me okay, because I'm getting messages that my internet connection is unstable.
No, everything is okay.
You're okay, man.
I hear you, yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're fine right now.
So CVS is using Apple Watch to scan prescriptions, and they are also doing curbside pickup. Armstrong, I think, is a more interesting one. This company makes, they make interior products like ceiling tiles and furniture. And they got on the digital transformation train about 5 years ago. And they decided that they needed to free up money to invest in new technologies. And so they started by using technology to automate their business operation. That saved them a lot of money in employees that were working on operations, and they were able to start using those employees to work on cybersecurity and analytics. And today they have a system that gathers 5,000 data points continuously from their manufacturing process, and they use machine learning to predict quality problems with manufacturing. It's saving them a lot of money. Dominos is another example of a company that's trying to reinvent how their clients use digital technology. You can, I did not know this, you can text an emoji to Domino to order your favorite pizza. That's pretty cool. What's really amazing is on the back end, they built their own e-commerce platform from the ground up themselves. It took them less than 5 years, and it is as good as any e-commerce platform that is available today. Sprint is a thought leader in digital transformation. They have the numbers to prove it, a lot more than some of the other companies that we've just been looking at. Sprint began analyzing behavioral data a few years ago to improve the customer experience. And as a result, they have both increased their online sales by 200%, and they've cut their support costs by 20%. And all of that has been using their own machine learning to analyze their customer behavior data. They also use that same data to streamline their website. They made their website really, really simple and clean, and they improved their engagement by 300%. And that also resulted in a 9% lift in conversions for desktop clients and 16% for their mobile clients, which is amazing for their business. They also use machine learning to detect bugs in their system. And they did all of this by building a huge data lake of all their customer data. They already have their behavioral data and their transactional data in their data lake. And they also target customers in their mobile app and their website with relevant offers directly, which contributed to their sales growth of 200%. Another example, and I think now we're getting to an example that to me is more the spirit of what is possible with digital transformation when people think big and tackle problems that haven't been tackled before. At Pfizer, they are using data and machine learning to study Parkinson's disease. And they have deployed sensors and mobile devices to all of their patients, and they collect that data across all of their patients, and they've been able to analyze it with machine learning, connect it with other clinical data, create patient cohorts, and studying the search for a cure for Parkinson's disease in amazing ways. I found this other company called Xylem, and they have built their own all-in-one platform for customer engagement and operational efficiency. They use social and mobile Internet of Things and machine learning to manage their customer data. And this platform added over $30 million of revenue to their company in the first year that they deployed it. And the last one I'll end with is our friends at Hasbro. You may recognize some of these characters. It's amazing to see this digital transformation coming to cartoons and movies. Hasbro, they figured out that they were wrong in their 100-year-old tradition of marketing to the mom and the dad. And they did not do that. They marketed to the kids. And they thought if the marketing campaigns targeted the kids, that the kids would tell mom and dad to buy. But they implemented audience segments and they started analyzing social media. They brought in an ad tech platform, and what they discovered is that their sales went way up when they started marketing actually directly to the mom and the dad. And they added things like ads on their sites of their retail partners based on relevant products to increase impulse buying. And they realized that they did not really understand where consumers were shopping. And now they do understand where their moms and their dads are shopping. And they've created a frictionless experience that's relevant to the parents and stopped focusing their marketing on the kids. And their business is growing amazingly. So as I walked through all of those, what I realized is that these transformations are just getting started. I thought a lot of those examples, I hoped for more. And I started digging around trying to figure out why there's not a lot more amazing examples. And what I discovered is this has also been studied. And research shows that for business transformations overall, just people trying to improve the way their company works, less than 30% of them succeed. And for companies that are trying to do a digital transformation, that's even more difficult. Only 16% of digital transformation projects are believed to be successful. And so that really proves the point that we are at the very beginning of the digital transformation in 2019. As the SoftBank CEO said, this is the entry point for the revolution. This is where the biggest opportunity is. We are really at the beginning of digital transformation. The last thing I wanted to touch on is what digital transformation means for us personally. I think it is going to change the world and our company and our clients, but I think it is also going to change each of us. If you think about it, there is already enough information in the world to predict what you are going to do next. And I believe to go do it for you. And when that happens, it is going to free up your time to do new things that you never imagined you could do, and to do that with new tools that you never dreamed of. With technologies, for example, like virtual reality and augmented reality, we are just at the very beginning of what is possible by bringing together technology with people. And that is something that you can get started on today, actually, even with the limited technologies that we have. So I want to challenge everybody to embrace the digital transformation in your own life. And I thought of a few areas where I have done this and it has changed my life in some pretty cool ways. So I have 4 questions for you. The first one is, are you cloud first? When you create a document, when you scan a piece of paper, when you save an attachment that someone emailed you or uploaded to you in Slack, where do you put it? Do you put it on your desktop or leave it in your downloads folder? Do you have your downloads folder on iCloud, or do you save it to the cloud so you can get at it from anywhere? It seems like a little thing, but it will change your life if you're not already doing it. My second question is, are you mobile first? When you need to answer a question or look up some information, do you grab your phone out of your pockets? Or do you wait until you get back to your desk where you have a computer and you can type? Everything that we need to do today can be done on our phone. I know that sounds crazy, and it's not completely true when we're developing new presentations or writing code, but for a lot of what we do, we can do it mobile first. And I think the important change as individuals is to change the mindset, which is to try to do it right now with the device I have in my hand instead of waiting for later, because that accelerates how fast we are moving, how fast we are working, how fast we are getting things done. The third question I have for you is, are you paperless? Do you use paper? Do you use paper at home? Do you use paper at work? I think the technology already exists for most of us to get rid of all of our paper. And that will change your life. And then for work, I actually have two more questions. The first one is, can you work anywhere? Have you changed your work style, especially now that we are all working remotely? Have you changed your work style so that you can work anywhere? Or do you need to be sitting at your desk with your things in order to work? And the last question is, do you work everywhere? When something needs to be done, do you make a note to wait until you get back to your desk to do it? Or do you just stop and do it right there? Because you've enabled yourself to work anywhere, and so you can work everywhere. But it's another change in mindset that enables us to do more and to move faster. So those are my challenges for things for you to think about. And I think these are each areas where the technology already exists for us to digitally transform our own lives, our own work habits, and our own personal habits. And I think it can make a huge difference for each and every one of us.